Hey everybody, hope you're all doing well out there. In this video, we are going to be talking about addressing blockages when it comes to performing psychic readings, especially in this video anyway, focusing on psychic readings where you might be employing tools such as the tarot or runes or oracle cards or whatever physical medium you are using to tap in with. Now, when it comes to blocks and interference, you can usually, put them into one of two categories. Sometimes both categories are happening at the same time. Either something is going on with your tool or something is going on with the reading itself, the space itself, or the person that you're reading. So we can say a tool issue or a non-tool issue, or sometimes both. Now, there are a lot of different things that can play into why that might show up. When it comes to working with tools, remember, if you are really doing psychic readings, if you are really doing the work, remember, you're not just asking a question and then counting on the randomness of your shuffle or pulling runes out of a bag or whatever to be enough, right? You are putting energy, you're putting your intentions, the questions, and everything into the cards itself, right? You are, of course, charging them up, right? Those of you who've ever gotten readings with me know I tend to go into my prayer pose, and that's where I, of course, put the energy and the question into the card itself. I call in unity with all of my guides and my higher selves, and I get down to business when it comes to then delivering the reading. But when you are doing it right, you can still have situations where your cards tend to accumulate information and energy and store them. And the same thing can go for your runes, your oracle cards, or whatever you're using to divine with. And that is because every time you are doing a reading, every time you're asking a question, every time you are assessing a situation, your cards will hold on to that energy, kind of like your computer will hold on to temporary files. And for those of you who know, right, if your computer is not set to regularly delete temporary files, or it just continuously stores them, it can mess with your computer's performance. Things slow down, apps are not loading correctly, memory and RAM just seem to be kind of missing. Well, the same thing kind of happens when it comes to your cards. They've accumulated a great deal of energy, and now it's trying to answer every single question that was ever loaded into it on top of what you have just asked it. And so it's really important to make sure your cards are, of course, clear and clean. And, if you are a professional reader like me, or you just happen to do a lot of readings because you like to do a lot of readings, you read for yourself a lot, or you read for other people a lot, then you are going to want to make sure you are extra smart about cleansing and clearing your deck. Now, for myself, I have a video on this channel. I'll leave a link in the down bar below. I kind of take you through my routine of how I, reset and full clear my deck at least once a week, sometimes two, but that's also because I'm a professional reader. You might not need to do a full clear as often as I do, but still cleansing it with smoke or leaving your cards wrapped up in cloth and then in a bowl of salt overnight, right? You just wrap the cards in the cloth and then do a bowl of sea salt, get it right underneath there, make sure there's salt on all sides of the cards, letting it just extract all of the energy and all of the information out of the cards to keep them wiped clear so that they can perform for you, so that they can connect and attune with you. Now, the reason that's important to do is because, kind of like anything to do with magic or manifestation or spiritualism, like attracts like. And anything that is chaotic is never going to be in enough matching harmony with anything to be able to pull it into its field. The more chaotic something is, the more chaotic anything is, the less successful it is at creating a harmonious manifestation, whether you are manifesting an answer to questions with your cards or you're trying to manifest something in your reality. So cleansing and clearing, absolutely essential. And, you can even make it a part of your, house cleansing routine as well. If you're smudging your house, or you are using singing bowls, or you are, again, you can even just simply sprinkle salt, around your home just to kind of help disperse any kind of accumulating negative or denser energy, you might want to sprinkle some salt on your cards or in your tarot bag every once in a while, and then dump out the salt after a day or so, throw it away, flush it out the toilet, whatever. And that way you can also make sure things are staying clear and clean. If you have a tarot bag and you like crystals, you can of course keep a piece of selenite in the bag with them. That will also help to repel negativity and keep them wiped clear. It kind of sounds a little counterintuitive when we're working with a magical tool or a spiritual tool or a psychic tool. We might think we want something to be holding a program or holding a charge. No, not when it comes to your cards. You want it to be clear and clean so that you can charge it for whatever you need on a case-by-case basis, not have it hold every single charge, or again, it's going to start to malfunction, it's going to work against you. That's usually one of the big reasons that maybe you start getting readings that are all kinds of jacked up. Either they don't make any sense, or it's not applicable, or you can't even get any kind of psychic impressions or hits from the messages that you're getting. Another reason your cards might get messed with, or your tools might get messed with, has to do with other people. Whether you are reading for them in person, or you are reading for them over the phone, or online, or in video. And for those of you who maybe also post your readings right online, you do forecasts like I do on Son of Selene, or you post card draws on, different platforms. Well, you want to be mindful, because people, when they project their energies at you or the cards or your reading, they can mess up the reading. Because when you are going into a space where you are psychically receptive, your defenses are not going to be so strong, right? You need to be open. Your fields still need to be there. It's a delicate situation and it's a delicate balance. I've had situations where I've done readings for people where I actually stop shuffling and stop charging in the middle, and I actually say, hold on, and I try not to call them out, but I know they're doing it. And I'm like, somebody is projecting a lot of wishes and hopes and sorrows, like they're trying to tell my cards what to say, or tell my reading what to say. That will jack up a reading. It's about questions, not about a conversation about your wishes like that. Not like that at all. And sometimes when you're doing readings for people, and maybe they're, really, really intensely focusing on you, they're directing all of their wishes, hopes, needs, sorrows, wants, and fears at you and at your cards. Yeah, it is going to mess up your cards, but it's also going to mess up your energy as well. It's going to hit you like a psychic attack. Now, you might ask, how could somebody, projecting all of that mess with your cards? If your cards are getting more of a command, such as present this news versus answer this question, your cards, depending on your skill as a practitioner, will comply with that. And so if it's kind of like, instead of, say, Matthew asking, when am I going to, meet a new romantic partner, Matthew instead focuses on, show me my ex coming back to me, show me my ex coming back to me, show me my ex coming back to me. And then the cards will kind of show a scenario that may not even be true or come true because that person was, focusing so much on it. And so if you're in a situation like that, it's very important to, of course, make sure your space is set up to protect you as best it can, right? This is where I have, my crystals and my stones all over. Of course, sometimes I'll still feel it anyway because I'm going to be opening up to get the information. But when people are directing a lot of intense emotional energy or psychic energy, or again, dumping their wishes, hopes, sorrows, and fears, please, please, please this, or please don't this, or this, or this, and instead of focusing on just kind of relaxing and letting the question be taken care of by spirit, it can really mess up your cards, and it can really mess up your reading because it's contamination. It is again, it hits you and your tools like a psychic attack, and it can throw everything off. If you are doing this on social media like I am, also very good to make sure that, if you are cleansing and clearing at home, that's great, but you need to also be cleansing and clearing your posts and your social media, right? And you can do that in a very simple way. All you have to really do is, you can burn candles with, maybe you could just say all my social media pages, or you can say all of my social media posts, or all of my videos, or all of my, like my Instagram account, my Facebook account, my YouTube accounts, whatever. You just want to make sure that you are also, again, maybe you're doing that on a white candle, a yellow candle, a red candle, blue candle. Those are all very protective and clearing and cleansing colors. And, you anoint that candle with maybe some olive oil, and if you want, a few drops of frankincense essential oil, or a few drops of mint oil, or a few drops of eucalyptus oil, or a few drops of lavender oil, just to kind of get the energy that can sometimes get projected onto those things by onlookers off of there, right? Because you got to be careful, especially online. A lot of spiritual communities and a lot of healing communities are like super magnets for energy vampires, and emotional vampires and psychic vampires. They see, a free lunch. They see free entertainment. And, again, people also dump their wishes, hopes, and sorrows and prayers and whatever energy they're holding, whatever state it's in, on everything, right, on social media. And you got to be careful with that. There are people out there that do not cleanse and they're not really affected by it, but those are energy vampires themselves that are like, you can give me your negativity, I'll eat it and grow, I'll eat it and grow. But if you're not an energy vampire, right, then, we gotta take care to make sure things are clear and clean. Social media can also be kind of problematic in some cases because, again, it's like photographs, people focusing on a photograph, fixating on maybe you, especially if it is an emotional vampire and they're like emotionally fixated on you, and not necessarily, somebody who honors or respects the craft itself. It's really just about you, or they fixate on a card or a deck of cards or a picture or a video. You want to make sure that you are cleansing and clearing, because that energy will, again, get directed to everything that is getting depicted in that picture or in that video or in that post. And so you want to take extra special care to make sure that, those cords are cut, those energies are cleared regularly. I've mentioned it before, I do return to senders, every Saturday. And I also, of course, make sure to regularly cleanse and clear because this is my job. Even if you're not doing a reading for somebody, or it's not the person you're doing the reading for or the person you're doing the reading on, environmentally, things can still affect your cards. If you are doing readings, say, in a public space, you're out at a picnic table in the park, or you're on break at the office, or maybe you're at home and you're doing readings. If somebody in the space is projecting, the reality that they command in a way where it is almost like controlling the space, it's going to control and influence the cards. Now, I've been in situations like that where I can resist that, repel that, and still do a reading, but I've also noticed it takes a lot more of a toll on me, and I'm very experienced, and so it's something that you want to make sure, if that's going on, you're protecting yourself and you're protecting the space you're doing the reading in. That is going to, again, affect how the energies are coming into and getting interpreted by your cards and by your deck itself. Now, I just realized I've kind of gone past about 15 minutes on this video, and, I want to make sure that these are going to stay organized and not get too long-winded. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to save the other kind of interference for a part 2, but we covered a great deal in this video, and I will honestly say, like, this is the most common type of problem that I have encountered when it comes to a malfunctioning reading or a malfunctioning deck. And of course, the best way to handle it is to remember prevention is better than a cure, and to make sure that you are preparing yourself, your deck, your work, your pages, your posts, your creations. So, and that way you can do a good reading and you can be of good service to people, good, honest, spiritual service to people, and you are not getting pulled into a situation where, again, gunk or projections or emotional vampires or energy vampires or any of that kind of stuff might be maligning the work that you're doing, either with your cards or your environment or any spaces that you have. So that is what I've got for you all. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it, and we will be back again with more talks about tarot and all things psychic, magical, spiritual, and evolving to the consciousness. You all take care, and I'll see you again soon.